Welcome in, brave souls. This is your GM in the Great Barrier. We are back today for more Star Trek Adventures, very particularly Star Trek Adventures Aegis. We are here with the penultimate episode of the season, On the Horns, Part 1. For those of you that would like to join us live and try to influence the games in some manner with the local channel points we have here, you can drop in 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Keep an eye on socials or join our Discord, any of that. All of the links are in the description of the archived video, and for those of you on Twitch, you can engage the commands to find anything that you need on that front. So we'd always encourage you to join in, and if you're watching on YouTube here, if this is something you've only recently picked up for whatever reason, then feel free to subscribe there, and that way it'll keep you up to date, show you the whole archive of both adventures. For those of you watching live on Twitch, then that's a place to catch up and give you some context. That being said, we are at the start of an adventure today, so we are going to get underway here with an officer's log. I know we have one player running a little behind, but they had taken they'd undertaken to record the log beforehand so that we would have this available, and we have other scenes that we will do in the meantime. So let me just end this, and for anyone that wants to hear, just make sure that you have your Roll20 unmuted. For those of you that I would strongly advise you guys have headphones in, or if you don't have that you use a push to talk sort of thing, just to avoid doubling the audio or anything like that. All good?
Yep. Yo.
All right. Then let me play this and we'll get started.
This is Ensign Remora. Stardate September 4th, 2155. This is my first log on the Starship Aegis. For me, it's been a wild year. I used to be on a pirate crew, which I have since abandoned for a better life. It's better for me, it's better for Rocco, it's better for Hesh. I'm excited for the adventures that we have taken and will take. After that fateful day long ago, I thought my life was going to be full of misery and fear. I don't feel that way anymore. I have a captain who cares about us all, and a crew who will die for anyone. You can't find that on a pirate crew. Not this day. Recently we came in contact with a Klingon ship who was afflicted with some strange disease. Unfortunately, me and the doctor were infected. And at the last minute, when all seemed failed, the doctor arrived and saved the day. I'd give him my applause if it wasn't for that knack feeling of, how did he do it? It was in the nick of time. I don't know if it was a miracle. I like my life here. I wouldn't give it up for anything anymore. This is it for me. I can see this being my career, my beginning, and my end. Soft stuff aside, we're on our way to a starbase, one where thankfully a Suliban family, hopefully more, are stationed. I am personally excited to see how they're coming along, and what they're doing to ensure the success of our race, to make sure that we stay alive, that we thrive for many years to come. Whatever assistance they need, I will help with what I can. Our race has gone through a lot. Hopefully, this trip will not only be fruitful, but hopefully a good visit as well. This is Ensign Remora, signing off.
Really need to get Remora out of the reactor compartment.
What's gone wrong with the machinery down there? It sounded like there's a...
It has the best acoustics in the entire ship.
Sorry, sir, I was running a diagnostic.
Uh, no, it's just Remora has a white noise machine that alternates between wildlife and the interior of the warp nacelle. Anyway, all of this being said, we joined Aegis some weeks after their last encounter with the raptor, the Dochpach. It has been some time that you have been on your expedition. Ship and crew are holding up as best they can, although the steady toll of repeated battles of a long trip without any reprovisioning, or a long stretch without any reprovisioning, and just the general the situation being as it is, where you have long been out in deep space on your own, it has begun to show a bit more. It is in times like these that you rest on what support structures you have and just do the best you can to get through a difficult time. It is in one of those situations that we start off today's session, for we would find ourselves initially in sickbay, or as I understand it, Shira, you had requested a scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. For the benefit of this, I believe we would also want to involve Commander Romanov. Or it would definitely make sense that you are down there, given the continued physical therapy you're undergoing. Would you be all set, Brian?
Yeah, I'm all set.
Very good. So, sickbay is it's relatively quiet compared to how it has been, and everyone is settling into their routine. In the case of Lieutenant Commander Romanov, this has meant continued physical therapy work and stretches of rest. Over the past couple months, you have been dealing with the trauma from the injuries that you had sustained when your shuttle pod crashed on a mysterious Class D planet. A very, very thin sort of margin for error and extreme difficulty in surviving that. But very steadily, the process has gone your way, and you have managed to steadily pull yourself back together. It has, however, meant lighter duty, such that you've not been able to take on quite as full a docket as you usually would. That's starting to increase now. You're able to do a little bit more in the engine room, helped by Dr. Xantar's regimen, by periods of rest, and, as would happen today, by the arrival of your good friend, Commander Shira. Craig, you've stepped into sickbay here, and Shira is here to take over from, the scene goes to you guys now.
Shira will have, I guess, some trying to think of what involved. Probably some oil and a towel or something. I'll go over to Alaska. How are you feeling today?
Doing okay. Every day, a little step forward. She puts down a data pad with, looks like soccer matches from Earth.
Glad to hear it. Good. Soon you'll be back on full duties again. Right, Doc?
Oh, yes. Her recovery is coming along nicely. Thank you, Commander. And she has actually been sticking to all of my recommendations.
Trying to be
very
a good patient.
You've been exemplary.
Thank you. I've had a lot of practice.
Well, let's hope you get less practice in the future.
Yes, that is a given goal in life.
I would
more-
agree.
No more crazy searches for archaeotech.
That is good to hear, especially when it involves flying through a debris field which is potentially unexploded ordnance in.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think we should just avoid debris fields with unexploded ordnance in, even if there isn't any archaeotech at the end of it.
That should probably be a Starfleet regulation of some kind.
I'll make a recommendation to Starfleet Command when we're back.
Hard to look at all of Star Trek.
That one didn't take, did it? No. I've been working on something over the past few weeks, and think I'm ready to give this a go. I know how much you like, well, how much Vulcan culture has influenced you, has had a positive impact on you.
Yeah, well, like my errant youth was saved by a Vulcan teacher who had great influence over me, but he was an edge runner, you know. Although there's been a lot of shifts in Vulcan culture lately.
Yes. So I figured something might be good for you would be maybe a Vulcan style massage to go with all the other Vulcan things. So I've tried to learn how to do that, and I've been practicing on a pillow, and the pillow's never complained once.
She's laughed. Yeah, actually, that would probably be great. I did take a walk to engineering and do a few things, and that was my big outing for the day.
Yes,
So,
it's apparently helps when you're doing what's that meditation thing they do?
well, I was trained in some Vulcan meditation. She'd give the word for it. Player cannot remember.
Yes, we'll just call it Vulcan meditation. No need to worry about specifics. Yes. Yeah. Okay. I've got. Well, apparently there's supposed to be a very specific kind of oil harvested from a plant. We don't have that. So I've got some oil for massages, and there you go.
Well, I
hopefully-
won't say no
Okay.
because you know. So
Excellent.
she flips over and you know
Yeah.
undoes she's probably back in hospital. I don't know how he has her dressed at this point, you know. However, Xantar has her dressed.
It would be in like a hospital gown type thing.
That's what I figured, and that gives easy access. So
I mean, physical therapy does not require you to be changing more often than not.
I did just go down to engineering, so I might be in a jumpsuit.
With Xanta in charge, everything requires completely.
This is fair.
Quiet you.
There's Xantar. There's Xantar.
It's a proud nudist.
Sick
Then-
Bay
then-
has.
Yes, I follow the doctor's orders in all things.
Here, drink your tea. Don't worry, the unicorn is your friend.
The dragon tells you to do something, don't.
So she'll get in position so you can. take
Excellent. Right. So let's see. So pour a little bit of oil on my hands. Then she's looking
kind
at a
of oil
date.
is
She's
it?
looking at a
Like cooking oil.
massage oil. It's
oil.
massage oil that obviously you'd have on board a starship. Obviously.
That Star Trek always conveniently has. Yeah.
The
Proceed-
protein
proceed-
resequencer is a heck of a useful bit
Yeah.
of technology.
You just use machine oil, and Alaska wouldn't mind because it
I know,
reminds you of the reactor.
She's so used to it. She's like, no, the machine oil. It's really good.
You can see Shira's looking at has got a pad open. She's just kind of checking that. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Good. Right. Right. Let's begin. Okay. So she'll begin trying to do a nice Vulcan massage with her hands on Alaska's back.
it's actually the chart of where not to push. But
Well,
Probably is partially the chart of where not to push.
yeah. I mean, if you would like, Craig, then I will give you the opportunity for a control plus medicine roll to see how effectively
Okay.
you carry this out.
All right. Yeah.
I'll
Sounds good to
only
me.
set the difficulty to 1, and I'm just going to laugh if there's a nat 20. No extra threat.
Okay.
Into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Control medicine. That's not too bad. That's
That's how
13.
Romanov died.
Hey!
Yes.
Ah, it was written in the stars.
The leg is doing much better. And not so much better.
So,
It
Shira.
still stopped. Oh.
Yeah. Shira, you're
She goes,
getting, yeah, you're getting a good start when you hear Romanov squirm a little bit. You move to try and check it, but you find that the oil is like you go for like the touchpad functionality to try and scroll through, and find that the oil has made it difficult to read your finger. But it's
okay,
everywhere
just-
now.
Yeah, there's some light Andorian swearing going on. Never mind. I'll just do this from memory. Do this from memory, just like on the pillow. Unfortunately, pillows and human musculature perhaps not entirely similar.
very, very briefly, Stewart had come in for a minor headache and sees this very personal experiences. Excuse me, sorry.
lie down. It should. Romanov goes, "You're next. Lie down."
No. I don't want to get in between the two of you. Oh my goodness. Okay, and just walks out.
It's the Abe Simpson meme. Abe comes in, sees Bart, turns around.
She's got chief science officer written all over her. One day,
She does.
Yeah.
She does.
yeah.
Racco calls out, "Hey,
She might be able.
if
She
she's
might
not,
need the Vulcan. Oh, I'm
you
sorry.
go,
Go ahead.
You go ahead there, Brian."
She might need a massage more than I do.
Racco calls out from the edge of it, like while Tavashi is tending to yet another small cut that he's received. Hey, if she's gotten out of line, I wouldn't mind jumping in.
Absolutely not.
You need to be in a bit of a more life-threatening incident before this happens.
And even then, I will be administrating it.
Doctor's orders.
That's less fun, but I guess hold my ale.
Well, he has highly trained hands, Tavashi.
No, it was Racco. It was Racco.
Oh, it's Rocco. Oh, sorry.
It's the
Highly trained.
The asshole former pilot.
Yes.
Now engineer. Now
Romanov,
engineer.
are you in,
In a
Romanov,
very
you
odd
insinuated the
circumstance.
Andorians look the same. Honestly.
Oh, that said, at least the two of them do look the same because we got twins on board, don't we?
that would do.
Mm.
Similar.
Twins.
In a very odd position where we have 3 Andorians in one room on this
Yeah.
human-centric vessel.
Though out of character, I imagine this is looking like one of your marriage dates here, Xantar. The Xantar?
That was certainly a similar situation.
Yeah.
Tinder's like, that's how I got my third wife.
Third? You mean fifth? And fourth husband.
Yep. In any case, going off of memory, while you find that Romanov's musculature is differs obviously from your pillow, Shira, you do manage to work in the you work from memory, and I think as part of the complication, just to bring aloud the internal monologue, I could imagine that you've envisioned working on the pillow as someone's back before, and remembering each sort of where each individual node was meant to be, and having knowing where to apply slow circles rubbed in with fingers or thumbs, going at your best route as to where to dodge, trying to avoid adjust for any obvious circumstance where there's signs of residual injury, or being extra tender with this.
And you know what? Romanoff will guide her a little bit, up to the left, watch out for that. There's no scar there, but that's...
Yes.
So she'll talk her
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah.
Communication does make it more pleasant.
Yep. But yeah, Shara, you with Romanov's guidance, you're able to make quite a bit more of an impact, or at least you feel like you're hitting the marks that the massage intends you to. And Romanov, for your part, while Shira's hands are not the most experienced at this, she is putting forth an effort and is receptive to adjustments as needed. So with your corrections,
Well, and massage is seriously good for healing of musculature and skeletal, type injuries. So
exactly,
she's relaxed.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it proceeds apace.
That's gone better than expected.
And she'll even guide you to the trouble spots. Yeah, that lower back. No, right side leg. Oh. Xantar, we need to make this part of the regimen.
Xantar takes notes.
Yeah. Yes. Regimen. Yes. Right.
So, would any other words be exchanged between the two of you on or like any meatier bits of conversation that you'd want to get in during the massage, or would you just want to narrate a little of how things go from there?
I think she's very relaxed, and she really appreciates this. So she might even be like on the edge of like, oh God, I'm gonna fall asleep, But she's trying to keep herself, awake. How are you doing, Eula?
I'm doing all right. I would think Aleska's probably knows her well enough to say that she's absolutely lying at this point. And that
she read that. She's looking at your face.
But she's probably not in a position to say, with everyone else around, exactly her internal thoughts are.
I think Romanoff would notice that, given how well she knows you. She's looking at your expression off the reflection of one of the medical readouts. How light will bounce and you'll see somebody's reflection off a screen. So you can see that she's studying you a little bit.
Yeah, there's a bit of a tightness in Eula's face, and it's just a few things have been weighing on my mind since we fought the Klingons. Well, we didn't fight the Klingons, fought the Sinti, but you know what I mean. We came across the Klingon ship.
The crazy away mission, yeah, everybody's told me about it. It's scuttlebutt. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
No secrets around this ship, right?
Yeah,
all in a can with warp drives flying through space. Yeah, everybody knows everything.
Absolutely, they do. Yep.
This one will get around.
Oh yes, they know. Everyone knows everything.
Rocco's already in mess hall spreading it.
I think he's right over there by Tavashi, but yes.
Yeah, I can't see. I can only see
he's still over there. Really seems to get involved in a inordinate number of fights.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
you cast a brief look. You cast a brief look over your way, and he winks at you, Shira.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah. Look, if we get some time alone, we can talk more
Yeah.
in depth about things.
When I do my exit of sick bay tomorrow, I'll be glad to schedule in a swing by, when you're off shift.
Yeah, sure. That'd be great. Yes,
Are
yes.
which shift are you on?
Oh, let's see. I think it's
All of them.
I think it's generally alpha, beta, gamma, maybe delta. We don't have an epsilon at this point.
Thank God.
One Omega.
No, well, I'll find some time. I'll make sure there's time for you.
Yeah,
Always.
just schedule it with my events coordinator, Xantar. He handles all of my speaking engagements, and
Good.
very
Your agent. There. Yes.
yeah, yes, like in old Hollywood. Everybody had an agent and a manager and a lawyer, I think, too.
Yeah. Oh, right. What was
I'm afraid I'm not proficient in law.
what was old Hollywood?
Where all the ancient movies were made, like the ones that sometimes get shown in the Master
Oh,
Builders days.
okay. All right.
It was a big industry. I feel like I know it. There's a story in that.
Yeah. Oh, well, yes. Well,
Oh, Craig died.
be
Yeah.
delighted to hear that story.
Craig, you had a packet loss there. Rephrase.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
Rewind.
Rewind. Yeah. Oh, you can tell me all about that.
Relax, Eula. You're doing a great job. If you could get my feet and my ankles,
Yes. Oh, yeah. Of course.
especially on the right side where the
Feet,
the
right
breaks
foot.
are. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the spot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Okay.
my God, you're getting good at this.
Not on stream.
Stuart tries to get back in. And says, if you guys are gonna do that, can you guys just do it back in your rooms, please?
It's
sir?
physiotherapy, Ensign. It's physiotherapy. Yes.
I look over at Stuart. I live here.
It's just the music from Ghost playing, candles lit.
Anyway,
It's remarkably relaxing, Stuart.
look, Dr. Xantar's there. He can tend to what you need, I'm sure.
Sure. I'm just surprised you're doing that with Rocco being right there, grinning like that.
I don't care. I'm glad to have it. We're just we've been doing a lot of muscle therapy in here.
I don't. Sirs, I respect you both. I don't. It's nice that the two of you are getting closer, but I don't wish to know. Please. Thank you.
Yeah. At this point, Lambert steps in. All right, Ensign. We don't have to put you around anything uncomfortable now. Did I hear right that there was some sort of chemical spill?
Just a migraine. Just a migraine.
Oh.
It's coming back in. That's all.
I got you. Just in case. Better go down to the decon chamber with these gels here. Just apply it to your forehead, and that should do.
Sure.
Vulcan meridian points 35 and 36 are at the base of the neck, and those can activate and release.
You know what? I will take these canisters and I will deal with the smoke. Thank you so much, Dr. Lambeth. She says, looking like her cheeks are very much red, and just scoots her way out.
She's a very high-stress human.
Yeah, well, I've been through so many decon chambers, I've had to strip in front of other people. It's part of the job.
Oh, yes, decon chambers, yes.
Yeah, I had an experience out at Mars Base.
I'm sure you did.
Yep. At this point, I think that Shira's approaching maximum fluster, such as it would be. So,
Yep.
how would we like to play off with
Romanoff falls asleep probably after, once Stuart's out and she's back to work. I suspect Romanoff falls asleep because I know when I had an injury and I had to get therapeutic massage at Kaiser, I would fall asleep.
Nice, nice.
So,
Yeah. So after a time, Shira, and after you're left to ponder some of the bits of wording there, yeah, Romanov seems to hit a point of rest, and yeah, so seems like your job is pretty much done here.
Okay, that went. Yeah. Okay.
So, checking your chronometer, you realize you have a little bit of time before shift, which you might want to wash off the oil and.
Yeah. Hands wash. Xantar, you know the best place to wash hands, right?
Oh yes, over here. Yes, I had I feel like he installed some weird luxury model hand wash basin. It's like a bidet, like a weird mix of a bidet.
But ooh,
You don't even you just hold your hands out and
get all the oil off.
So,
Degrease, excellent, good.
And then there's a short sonic sour moment of
yep. As you're washing that off, Racco says, Racco's come around the corner and says, "So, the said catastrophic injury. Am I allowed to keep my limbs?"
You're allowed to keep your limbs for. Sorry, what?
Well, if I want to see something quite as nice as that other engineer over there, I just want to get a sense of how bad an injury we're talking. I want to know. I'm not. I've got some fingers to spare. I could let go of one or two of those. Arm or leg, that's a little more of an issue, but that's something.
he just feels like on the back of his head a data one of the basically like a clipboard just cling over the back of his head. That's enough of that. Back to your duties.
Yeah. You let me know when you.
Valeska's snoring over in the corner because she's facing down and she was put asleep. So there's.
You let me know when you sort out that criterion, and well, if you'd be interested. I just I have some priorities of what limbs to keep, and who knows, you might too. Says with another wink as he just strolls away.
You know, Shira. You are XO. You have full command of sending him into the most worst and dirtiest jobs on this ship.
Mm-hmm.
He's not properly part of the crew as of yet, I should note. He's just been playing passenger this whole time, as has
passenger and assistant engineer. Yeah. All right.
Just wait. She might end up looking up regulations for what's it called? It's the naval form of conscription.
Yeah.
Yep.
Press gang.
Yeah.
Which Starfleet regulations are remarkably lax on now, as and have been since the start of this campaign. As a matter of fact, wide latitude to recruit anyone that you pull in, such as that.
She'll make a note of that if the behavior continues.
No.
There was a number of stretches in the law that Sharp has used to press gangs her all. So, and a whole lot of blackmail.
Yep. But while this is going on, and whilst we speculate on who needs to get a room, there are the mess hall scene would require Cheesy, and he is still getting things situated.
Yeah,
so,
I was thinking it'd probably be time for Horn to track down the captain.
Yep. Captain, would you be in the ready room or the...
No, I would be in the gym, probably training some security officers on...
Could I try to catch you in your quarters?
Sure. We can be afterwards.
Okay. We save the gym set for another day.
Darn. All right.
So let me...
What was the weird martial art called again?
Susman?
Did it? Was it that they did on the Enterprise at some point?
Which
Klingon one?
Enterprise?
Is
Picard.
Is
There's
it the
like
one
7 of them.
they dress in those kind of red suits with the?
I think so. I just have some weird memory flash.
You mean the one they did all of once and then never
Yes.
again until?
Yes.
Yeah, no, we're not doing those.
Not yet, anyway.
But yeah, all right, yeah. So she is walking herself back to her quarters, having a towel over herself, wearing a tank top, and looking a bit nice and exhausted.
Yeah, probably kind of meeting at the door.
Yeah, she'll just kind of look over and say, "You need something, Horn?"
Well, a bit of your time would be nice. Private visit. You see, he's in his casual clothes, which is more or less the same as his
Yeah.
official ones.
She'll just kind of scrub her hair a little bit, or fluff her hair a little bit with the towel, and just sigh after a long moment. Yeah, sure, back to work. She just opens the door and just gestures for you to get in.
I distinctively remember saying private like 5 seconds ago.
Something tells me it's not exactly private. Right outside of, she shakes her head. Just get in.
Well, kind of just, yeah, just gets in.
She'll fall behind and lock the door. And then just lean back against the door. And pause and think about it. And like, nah. This is probably going to take a while. So she goes into her refrigerator that she has created into the wall and grabs a instead of a numerous amount of water bottle or alcoholic drinks is just her water bottle.
Oh.
And sits down.
Personal development, I see.
It's filled with vodka.
She'll just sit down and gesture for you to sit down anywhere you like. How can I help you, Marcus?
Kind of heads over to like the window first. Well, I just wanted to see how you're doing. You, Lillian, not the captain.
She says like a knowing sort of like gaze and just sort of takes a long drink of her ice cold water. I am doing fine as can be for a captain, given the situation. And you?
I'm feeling much better now that the secret's out.
As much as it can allow, yes. Marcus, what is it?
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the whole thing.
I figured time travel and all that sort of stuff, not to mention a relative distant claims while not exactly having immediate proof. It tends to be a difficult thing to swallow.
Yeah, I don't suppose you have any way to prove it, definitely.
None that I can without compromising a number of things, including, time.
I can keep a secret. Kind of looks back at you.
Yeah, she just kind of gives you like a flat look. Marcus, give a small smile. You and I both know that's not how it works.
Mm. What are we gonna do about this thing the doctor brought back?
My only hope, a prayer, one might say, is that it's just a chemical synthesizer from another century. And that's all it does.
Well, if any knowledge of the future is as dangerous as you say, you should get rid of it.
It's not something I haven't considered several times over the last few weeks. But we're also dealing with whoever conquered the Romulans, who have might have future knowledge, or hell, any other encounter which we had brief temporal tamperings, and nice to have a slight advantage on my side here and there, even if kept at a very distant, rare use.
Still think it should be gone.
You have more poignant concerns with this. Out with it. Stop being vague. I know you're an intelligence officer, but
Well, not with this
on.
particular. I had some thoughts to get rid of it. Just wanted to see where your stand was.
It's a hard maybe.
Hmm.
I'm not going to be trying to collect as much feedback as possible. In fact, I more than likely agree with you. But understand from my own perspective, I much like an intelligence officer that has just whatever they have on them against a much bigger intel op against them, I am trying to do whatever I can with as much as I can without breaking my own morals and the rules. I'm not trying to make the situation worse, and certainly I don't want to make it worse.
If I feel like I remember something like the road to hell.
It's paved with good intentions. I'm very well aware with it, she says with a very, there is definitely weariness in her eyes of someone who's definitely knows that road.
He's still mainly looking outside the window. He's
You can
avoiding
easily feel it with her
Yeah.
voice and everything. It is someone who has, even though they're physically in their late 20s, is someone with a voice that they've had like almost decades of experience. A very hard, unfun life.
So what did I mean, I suppose we talked about it on and off through the last couple of weeks. Like, what kind of time travel do you claim happened? Is like your consciousness was brought back, or your person? Like, what's the branch we are?
She has
having?
implied. This is out of character, in character, by the way.
What in character would Marcus would know or have?
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like, are you Felix asking, you Marcus asking?
What does Marcus know?
Marcus got the implication from the captain that there might be a consciousness that is sort of cohabiting the captain, jumped into the captain a little bit, and it's mostly still the captain, just with this knowledge or other life experience that apparently has a job to do for a better future, for a much better future, and she is trying so hard to make sure things work the way they should be working.
Yeah. Okay.
And has proven multiple times that yes, she has pretty good conscience, all things considered.
Well, I guess we'll burn that bridge when it comes to it. The other reason why I wanted to talk is that I was considering taking a leaf out of your book and maybe having a little bit of revenge.
In what manner?
About an unsubstantiated claim that you have no way of verifying.
Okay. Do you want to drink, Marcus?
No. I'm too sober to be drunk.
If anything, that tells me you need to be a little drunk in your current life, the current moment.
What would you say if I told you that I'm not human?
She just
Well,
kind of
that's a bit
I-
much, to be honest.
she just sort of like
Kinda.
eyes you. She just eyes you like a bit like that sort of like like mild skepticism, but not so like shock or surprise. And then she just sort of leans back. I say it's a Tuesday, to be honest. Pardon me.
For those of you that want to join us on Tuesdays, Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword runs at 7:30
Listen
p.m.
here, you
Eastern
shameless plug. Well, that was well done. That was well
That
done.
was well done.
Yeah. Well, he
Uh,
kind of finally, I guess, turns
Incoming
around,
plugin, sir.
takes a seat somewhere, or like leans on the table, or whatever seems like convenient. Well, I mean, mostly, probably human.
Thankfully, without compromising a number of temporal issues, there are plenty of alien races that hide themselves in humanity and a number of other things, but or don't look very much different from humans, as we've noticed here and there. You can easily look in the Enterprise logs already. So, which one are you, Marcus?
Well, I think the term that has been floating around was Lanthanites.
Ah,
Not quite sure where that came from, to be honest. But works as
she
well as
thinks
anything
about it
else.
for a moment. GM has, I guess I don't need to bother too much because nobody has a context like unless certain players from our other group does. Does Grace met any Lanthanites in her very long career?
Oh, I'd say that
Or Matt Marcus.
I am not. Marcus would be a
They're
very
pretty small population.
Yeah, and I imagine that while Starfleet famously might have had a few professors, none of them wanted to do the obvious thing and play history professor. Um,
Yeah.
you found out you had actually just missed the latest instance of a rather famed Lanthanite of some sort coming back to teach a special elective on engineering for a time before going off on what some believe to be a drug bender. Those are academy days, and those are long behind you at any rate.
Yeah.
But yes, the so far as they go, you know enough of the reputation. You know how these incredibly this species of incredibly long-lived beings have been on Earth apparently for some time, but there's not much that. I don't think that she ever met any of them.
I recall a Lanthanite as an elective course, she says, but sadly by the time I left, they jumped in and then they went on a drunk bender. So you're not, hopefully not worse off than I am when it comes to habits, are you? She says.
Well, can always start.
Please don't. At least until after we're done with this mission. Can't blame
Well,
you, but
does
I'd
seem to
like
be a
it
long
if you
mission.
didn't. For a Lanthanite, it's probably a blink of an eye.
Well, it's a lot of firsts for a change. It has been a while, I'll admit.
So, why the revelation?
And it takes a moment to answer.
You sure you don't
I
want to drink?
suppose I wanted someone to know.
Okay. Just give a slow nod.
And maybe I felt an odd kinship, kind of out of time.
Well, I appreciate that, even though you're sort of in the other side of the direction. But yeah, she nods. The small
Ah,
smile.
well, that's the problem with like just living on. You're always out of time. You know the thing where you don't understand the youth anymore, but just in perpetuity.
She goes slow nod. I have a. If I could tell you more, let's just say that I understand. She says with a slow nod.
He's definitely poking you like the last
Yeah,
couple of weeks constantly with things that you might just say out of
yeah,
just now that you've let your guard down. It's like
yeah.
not
Yeah.
even sure if it's seriously trying to
Yeah,
get something from you, but he's
she's giving
poking.
me that little nugget. She's giving me that little nugget is that she might be a little old.
I have to try. But yeah, and maybe I don't know. Maybe it becomes useful.
Look, Marcus, as I said before, and I'm telling you very honestly, there was a good future ahead of everybody in the long run. Not certainly not without its rough spots. And I certainly lived through one of its worst, but ultimately things were working out. There was a slow but steady positive future. And someone's getting in the way of that. And that's
I
why
mean,
we
to
yes.
be perfectly honest, Lily, not much has changed for me. We just have to work towards the best future we can. That it's
Sure.
not the same one that it should be, supposedly, is kind of besides the point.
I get that. I do. And that's what I'm trying to do to the best of my ability and knowledge without risking further spiraling. But okay. Because that doesn't compromise anything, hopefully. Sure sags. And I'm really wishing this wasn't alcoholic, or really wishing this was alcoholic, rather. She says, looking at her water bottle,
But,
you know,
oh, it was alcohol, yeah.
but no, it's water. I'm not that bad, just sometimes. So smile, but I had a family, Marcus. Not exactly family that was trying to work itself back together again, but I love them a lot. And given how badly things have spiraled, the likelihood of any of that existing. She just takes a long swig of her water as if it was alcoholic.
Oh. I'm sorry that it's so personal for you.
I had a daughter.
I think I don't think that Marcus is keeping the mask up really at this point, so you definitely see like the fond memories like flashing for a moment. It's yeah.
So, on top of trying to work toward a better future that I know exists, and despite the universe trying every ounce of its terribleness to ensure that it doesn't happen, I have something else to work towards too.
Sounds like a decent plan.
That's assuming that Earth hasn't spiraled back into its old habits while we're gone, she says with a grumble.
Well, we get there eventually.
I'd
We
rather
always
it
do.
didn't. I'd rather it didn't. I'd rather we finally learned as we did.
No, I mean we get better eventually. We always do. That I can tell you from experience. It's a rough process. Sometimes we take steps back, but we get there.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Doesn't mean I enjoy
Still,
watching it.
like, who is benefiting from this chaos?
Just because it's a brighter future doesn't mean that it doesn't have its assortments of other parties or
Yeah, but
whatnot.
chaos for its... I rarely seen people just causing chaos for chaos' sake.
Well, you cause chaos in order to destabilize and make your own self stronger while everybody else is weaker. So
Yes, and we've seen the chaos, but who's getting stronger?
I have one or two theories, but I don't think it'd be in their benefit. And God help us all if it is one of those, either of those two. She looks like when she does that, she kind of reclines back and kind of like shrinks herself of something that she definitely never ever wants to be true.
Don't think about the
Don't
Borg.
suppose.
No, not
Always
those, because
thinking.
we would have most definitely seen those. But there are other super problematic factions out there. She's like, like the dim Damien, one might say. It's like,
I don't suppose this Soral fellow could be of any help. Seemed awfully handy.
Okay. As a Lanathonite, how often have you run into gods or godlike beings?
Well, I've run into more time travelers than gods, or people claiming to be either, to be honest.
Well, let's just say they're fickle, and more often than not, you'd rather use them extremely sparingly, if ever. And I'm glad that Soral has been pretty well on our side at the current moment. But we don't know what Soral's, I guess, the Great Machine or Soral has been up to, or its
So great,
goals.
good.
And something that can easily alter the reality itself is something that we need to be very careful around. I have a plan, and at the very least, it'll get us very much in the right direction. And that's just
Can you share that plan?
That is just the average expectation for that. On if everything goes right and it goes exactly the way it should, then hopefully the brighter future, I can everything will be fixed. She says, hopefully it will. It will. She says,
And what's the plan?
can't tell you that. We
Well,
just
we
got to
need to
get
know
to that.
something.
We just need to get to that location. When we get to the location, I will tell you.
Roads
As I
quickly
told you
comes
before,
to mind again.
as I told you before, Marcus, for some reason, whatever got me or part of me here as also protecting me from psionics and the like, which is great because that would be a compromising thing all around, given how many things we already run across here that are telepathic or otherwise. But if I start talking more in further detail, other people can grab it from other minds, not to mention issues along with that.
Well,
I
I've
have
been
to be
pretty good at
careful.
keeping secrets again.
Yes, but I do recall Veldonin sort of reading you like a book.
Well, not quite that much. At least not for me.
A certain pretty Veldonin says otherwise.
Well, I let her into parts of the house, but give me the key.
She just smiles and shakes her head.
Did I know before that was kind of an accident that you got here? Or it
Yes,
sounded at least
sort
like?
of. Yes.
Okay.
It's not like an accident. She has implied that she came down here for the reason she already explained, but
Something went wrong.
Something went super wrong, and that she is now marooned, as it were.
So, have you ever talked about who the other person is, like to you?
Yeah. Okay, this is a really weird conversation, Marcus. She says, shaking her head.
I
But
feel
the
like
answer is, yeah, she'll just talk. She'll talk more to Marcus. We can move on the scene, Zach, because I know we have time crunch.
Yeah. I mean, unless Felix, you feel like there's another part that you are so invested in as to where you need
No, we can move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
The very very brief answer is yes. Similar, even though Marcus and the Marcus Lanthanite doesn't understand. Similar to Trills, she has a very similar experience with the other side.
And obviously, I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, Marcus has no idea what that is.
Yeah.
But she tries to best to explain what that feeling is, more or less.
Yeah. It is. I will say that it does go some way into giving you a bit more insight, Marcus. You feel like since you've been posted to the ship, you've had an incomplete picture of the captain, and it's not completely there in and of itself. So I will say, going to the point of whether she had been a whole new person versus what she's revealed as the consciousness drop, there is an extensive record of Lillian Sharp and her service record, so it would have been a very impressive forgery to have done so. So this is filling in some of those lines that and giving you better insight into the person that you are serving under.
And Lillian Sharp before before the moment she said that she claimed that she arrived was a lot more quiet, personable, kind of aggressive person, and this is a lot more sociable.
Tracking a lot more with what you saw on the strange planet in the binaries.
Yeah, and on the other hand, it's pretty clear that Marcus has kind of either lost or just left his roots behind, or just going into space. Like in a strange way, you get the feeling that he probably just feels a bit lonely. It's kind of like this, just like I just want someone to talk to.
Marcus, you ever heard about chess?
Passively familiar.
Then shut up and play. She says, and she pulls out a set for you as they'll start playing, and just give you someone to hang out with that knows you more.
It's like the last words while playing would say a mission to save family, huh? Well, I've killed men for less.
As in the early morning, you play through a couple games. These are quick because this Sharp and whoever else whoever else is with her, is quick and strategic. I have to imagine Horn might.
I have a focus in strategy.
Yep,
I have a focus in strategy, and several more decades, at least, in the experience of strategy. So
Horn is a bastard to play against because he doesn't really care about winning or losing. He just wants to play a beautiful game.
Yep. And The decades are rivaled by centuries.
Yeah.
He gets really upset if you just pull off like a 5-move win. It's like, what is this bullshit? This isn't fun.
Then actually play, Marcus.
Yep. As secrets dispense and the two of you get closer in conversation, one of a different social engagement is kind of taking the opposite direction. Remora, as you sit opposite your Uridian friends, like, oh, for the last time, Remora, can we give this a rest, please?
I'm just trying to give you the right opportunity to change your life and do good. Like, look at this. And he pulls out the Starfleet manual. It's a book that basically makes it to where you don't have to think. It tells you what to do.
Well, you feel the slap on your back. You'll forgive me if Kesh and I are a little more of the persuasion to think for ourselves and not let protocol and whatnot dictate everything.
Also, that's not how the manual works, Remora.
Remora doesn't know that.
Yep.
But Steward's kind of shouting over from her table, like, mm-mm.
Yep, a very flustered steward.
Yeah.
The rules are the rules. But hey, it's funny that you say that because there's like a whole thing in here all about individual thinking. Like, did you know that the captain and your head officers are supposed to ask for your input, like almost all the time?
And what are you gonna tell them when your head's just full of these rules and regulations that you adhere to like it's some sacred text?
In a weird way, it is a sacred text.
Okay, Alvarez, Hector. Explain to him.
I have nothing to do with this. I'm just trying to eat.
Yep. Kesh and Racco are both going to facepalm at the same time. Look, Remora, I'm glad that you have found your calling in this life, and that is you are entitled to it. But we like Racco and I, we did this stuff. Well, I'm doing this to survive. He does it because he's just prepared to go off in whatever direction the slightest bit of force pushes him, and he goes full bore into it. No lies detected there. This Starfleet, this isn't our way, and I honestly, when we get to this starbase, I'm considering disembarking there. Try to use it to find our next way forward. For mine, anyway. The ship sees too much danger.
I feel like no matter where we go, we're always going to find some sort of danger. I mean, we were pirates before this. The only reason why we survived so much is because, well, face it, we picked our targets really well.
Remora, you also know that the captain has been quite hesitant on docking anywhere because of how dangerous this area is. That she doesn't explain why.
I do get that, Remora, but I'd say that a few people are picking this ship as a target, and some of it might be out of convenience, like given the fact we apparently like to fly a bit close to Klingon ships. As you so well know. But
I don't even think they were supposed to be out here.
What I'm hearing is it sounds like the Klingons are the least of the concern, and that those giant furballs, those Kazinti, are the bigger issue. Supposedly, now I don't know if you heard this, but apparently last year. Captain picked a fight with a pack of their warships, and she threw she threw other ships at them in a convoy they were supposedly guarding, freighters. They emptied them out. They threw them at the Gazinti, and then blew up the ships with like nuclear weapons inside each one, and devastated that. She proclaimed the whole the whole quadrant supposedly as her hunting grounds, and that if the Gazinti ever wanted to try to come this way and hunt towards them, then they would personally need to answer for them to her. I think some sort of Grand Huntress is what she called it.
Stewart's just face palming and just looking over toward Hector and kind of throws up her hands at Hector. Hector, come on. Explain to them.
Yeah. Hector, for his part, did not come onto the ship until after all of this happened, so this could be just as...
Stewart doesn't want to explain it.
Yeah, listen, I'm learning a lot here, okay?
She was the one who was there. She was the one who was there, but doesn't want to explain it. Hector, come on. You weren't there.
I wasn't there when this supposedly happened. I'm hearing this for the first time. Well, not exactly for the first time, but the first time in this much words.
Yeah. You've heard 3 different versions of the story, and Racco's by far is the most entertaining. Tally, for that matter, hasn't heard it, and she's also there right now. But yeah, Racco says, "Look, I mean, I for one am perfectly fine taking my life into an occasional but chance here. And don't get me wrong, the food isn't half bad when it's seasoned properly. Beds are pretty comfortable, a little more than any racks we've had in the past, but Kesh is right, this place isn't exactly the most stable bit of space, and I kind of... I feel like this ship might just be the death of us."
How many times do you think that the crew thought that before they realized maybe we're not as in danger as we thought we were? Because I've heard so many stories. I hear the crew talk. I listen to the officers. But the bottom line, the ship's still here. It's in good condition. Most of the crew's still here. Most of the head officers are still here.
In good condition if you count the a good segment of the port valve is being melted and melted into a single piece of a disjointed hull, and I know at least one of those Makos that didn't come back from the last one.
We've lost crewmates too.
Yeah.
Sometimes to our own captain.
As I recall, we happened to be pretty intimately involved in that last one.
Okay, on that note, though, I think all 3 of us can agree the captain had it coming.
Oh, yes, most definitely. Yep. Just a complete random agreement. Yeah, and that mutiny was unanimous, and that's the way we do it every time.
And the ensign's trying to cajole Alvarez to stand up for the ship, type of just quietly being like, "What the frick is wrong with you? Come on,"
Alvarez is.
Why do I have to be the one?
You're a security officer. You're supposed to be. Look,
I'm not on duty.
Yep.
I think I've heard the captain say something like that. Not my monkey, not my circus.
Yeah. Racco is going to, in violation of some regulation, you're sure, Remora, he's going to bring one foot up onto the table and lean back a bit and say, "Look, you're a good, strong hand and as steady a pilot as any, and I, personally, I'd trust my life with you at the helm in just about any circumstance. But giving up the relative freedom that we both got for what seems to be a big, long, dangerous mission that they're going out to just because, and if anything I've heard is accurate, then on a supply situation that is sounding mighty precarious. You stake your life on that, that's your thing. You want to stake ours on it?
You'll stake your life anywhere you go. I'm not going to stop you. The station, we're going to look into it, walk around, make sure that it's safe, and if it's a safe and viable place for you to head off, I understand. Our paths have been together for a while. It's doomed to spread apart. But I do want you here. Rocco, there isn't an engineer. Not one. And I love all the engineers on this ship. There's not one as crazy as you, which is a compliment. You think so far outside of the box that sometimes you make a whole new box for you to break out of. Starfleet needs, or is it Starfleet? Did I do that right?
Yeah, Starfleet is correct.
Starfleet needs engineers like that. They need engineers to break the barriers. And I can't think of somebody else who could do that. Hesh, I just want you here. You've kept us together a long time. Not only us standing up for you, but you just being there for us. I want you guys to know how important you are to me. And I am thankful for you fighting with me to get out of that situation. I didn't want to be in it anymore. I'm sick of preying on the weak. My race is weak. It's not fair when they get preyed on. It's not fair when anybody does. And I want to protect them. I want to save them. Every single one of them. Every weak civilization, every stranded ship, I want to save. Because that stranded ship and that horribly down civilization could bounce back and create something beautiful in the galaxy. And I don't think it's fair of me to miss out on that opportunity. It's not fair of me to not help. I love you guys. But if this is your decision, this is your decision. But I do want you to take a second. Look around. To see if maybe if you helped us, help Starfleet, it'd be better for other worlds. And not just for you.
Well, Remora, with that impassioned plea, I'm going to ask who wants to be designated momentum officer.
I'll be it, sure.
Okay, because I'm going to say that is a solid a speech as any, and befitting the optimism, I will give the party 2 points of momentum.
Hooray! Also, a one success to intimidate Alvarez to back up Remora.
Oh dear.
Alvarez, give me, let's call it presence plus command. Or no, control plus command to resist.
Oh god. Does it have to be command?
Hey, mine was a 10. Mine was a 10. You.
I have a 9.
Hey.
Oh. Deadlocked.
Yeah, I'm going to say, like, usually this would be enough to prompt you, but I don't think the need is going to rise so much, because as you finish your plea, Remora, you see both Kesh and Rako look a little bit behind you to the window, and you realize, catching their attention, the stars have ceased streaking, and in the distance there is a gas giant, meaning that you have arrived in the Lystragon system, the destination where the Suliban station is supposed to be.
Neat.
Yeah. More so, mostly to bear in mind the fact that you wanted to be on the bridge for this, although you are not on duty.
Yeah. She'll bring a sharp will bring up to yellow alert.
Well, that's. I mean, this is more Remora's concern because, like it's.
Okay.
He goes, "Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap!" Keep that thought in your head. I have to go. I want to see this space station with my own eyes. And he's gonna run up to the bridge, and then run back to the table, grab a piece of food, then run to the bridge again.
Hey, this is Alonso.
Huh?
Here, take this as the captain. Gives you a thermal. Take
You
this
got
as
it.
the boss.
I don't know what it is, but yes.
Okay. Who would like
It's
to?
ticking for some reason.
Who would like to be on the bridge as you arrive at the station? Captain and
the captain.
Captain and Shira. I was already going to put there player-wise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Horn can also be there as well. Let's see. Xantar, you don't have like reason to be there necessarily, but you can choose to be there as well. But
I'm probably having something to eat.
okay, fair enough. So Xantar will arrive in the mess as we...
Sometimes needs a break too as well.
Yes. So anyway, Remora, you arrive on the bridge as the crew is beginning their approach. Per some discussions beforehand, you are kind of coming around a segment of the gas giant. You were approaching from the night side terminus, and are, per the usual protocol for these stations, you are kind of approaching along the plane of the planet, or like in a bit of a tighter orbit. Melnyuk is issuing a few callbacks as she proceeds. It says, "Let's see, we should be able to get a read on it in about 20 seconds. I'm trying to modulate the sensors a bit. Their proximity in the atmosphere is there's a bit more EM radiation than I would expect, or it's causing a bit more interference."
Let's try to be as friendly as possible. Keep any sensors to a nice, friendly inquiry than anything sort of hostile examination.
Of course, sir. We should have visual range in a moment. And Remora, you step out of the turbolift and onto the bridge. For the NPCs, I will say everybody is, basically operating as per usual. If the players want to chime in with any outward appearance or consideration, then you're welcome to.
Remora's there, right?
Remora is behind you, yes.
She looks over. Ensign, glad you can make it. How paranoid should we expect this colony to be?
It's Suliban. Very.
All right. Justice, if you don't mind, I think Remora would like to take the helm.
Oh yeah. Sure thing there, Remora. By all means, he says, stepping aside.
Thank you.
Remora
is holding back tears right now.
Yeah. Remora, nice and steady. Any sort of flight path you think would be showing that we're not Tendorans or anything alike.
Ah.
All right, Remora, you bring the ship onto a nice steady course. You're thankfully high enough that atmosphere is not going to pose any sort of shearing, but as you note, navigational sensors do show a bit of radiation or EM activity, basically. As you cross over to the daylight terminus, let's see. So I'm just checking notes here. Mjolnir says, let's see. We should be approaching visual range, Captain. Sensors do pick up signs of 5 craft, it appears, on the perimeter. Very small. I'd say they appear vaguely shuttle-like. And I think that I have a read on the station. Just trying to compensate for some additional interference.
Well, when you can, put it on the view screen.
Right. Going on screen now.
She kind of squints. Mjolnir, can you magnify?
Let's see. Hold on. Let me first make it look nice for the stream here and scroll it up just a little bit. And then stand by polarizing. Wait. I need to go to the screen to do this. Okay.
Yes, polarize and magnify. It's certainly the radiation's getting a bit much.
All right.
I'm just imagining Melnyuk's had to get up out of the seat, walk over to the screen as it's just pushing buttons on the side here.
She
pressing
gets
the little tiny, hard to reach buttons. Yeah.
Yep.
Just hit it a few times. Just
Nope. That's a contrast, Melnyuk.
Yep. Let's see. Polarizing.
not all
screen.
of our viewers will understand his references.
That's actually supposed to be more over here.
Now it's a whole different view, Melnyuk. Come on.
Hey, you.
Can't you just use your science magic?
I swear it says it. Let's see. Stand by. Zooming in on the screen, or magnifying, and
Polarizing. There we go.
I've polarized the view screen. Now you can see the station now.
There we go. It's still small. Can you enhance?
Increasing magnification now, Captain.
That looks very complicated.
Is that debris?
Wait. Seeing some signs of mild plasma ejection. Stand by. Yep.
There's just a frown at seeing the ship there in the corner, but
those are free ships, and they look distinctly like the Kazinti vessels.
Mjolnir, can you get the pride colors on them?
I think we should immediately start reversing course.
As long as they're not pride stock, I hopefully won't have a problem.
Those Kazinti vessels are active, and let's see. Sorry, just getting Melnyuk out because I realized her sheet closed down. Let's see. Anyone want to get sensors plus science here? Oh, doesn't matter anyway.
Ship.
Yeah, no, she just looks as like,
Damn.
She freezes up when she realizes that there are, in fact, 3 active Kazinti cruisers and plasma fires, and signs that this station has, in fact, taken a bit of a beating. And it falls to you, Shira, to note that the 3 vessels that are approaching on the perimeter are, in fact, Kazinti fighters. And they are closing fast.
Kazinti fighters closing fast, sir.
Condition red, Crichton.
Action stations. All hands. Report to your action station. Set to condition red.
Crichton, I need you to get try to find any Sulban signal you can receive. Let them know that we are here to provide help or any kind of evacuation that they need.
I'm trying, sir. I'm not getting anything.
Mjolnir, I need you to do finite scans on that station, try to find as many survivors as possible without getting us detected by the Kzinti quite yet. The less the other ships don't know us, the better.
Aye, sir.
Remora, turn us toward the fighters. We might as well take care of the chaff first.
Remora, how are you doing right now seeing this?
He is furious. Like, beyond any anger that he has felt in a very, very long time.
Ensign.
Aye, Captain.
Repeat the order that I gave you.
Take us towards the ship. Might as well take care of this now.
Take us toward the chaff, the fighters.
The
Ensign.
ships, sorry.
Ensign, I'm going to be very clear with you. I understand your feelings at the current motion, but at the current moment. But if you cannot think clearly, I'll have Justice replace you at the current moment. Do you understand?
Takes a deep breath. I understand, Captain. I'm a Starfleet officer. I have a duty.
Yep. Let's see. Melnyuk is going to throw in an additional note. Captain, I'm scarcely picking up any Suliban biosigns on the helix at all. It seems to be more. Honestly, there's more Kzinti there at this point than anything. Barely get a read through all the radiation that that station's putting off. They must have taken some nukes.
Do what you can, and if you can't find any remaining life signs on there, she just gives a small smile. I need you to pull some science magic here and start probing the Kzinti vessels themselves. Maybe they haven't quite yet feasted upon their captives.
Yeah. Melnyuk is going to just start tapping at her computer as best as she can, trying to figure out something. But yeah,
she'll look over to
closing in.
Yeah, she'll look over to Shira. Shira, stick with you can. Try to take these chaff out as quickly as possible, as discreetly as possible. She will signal. She'll flip the signal on her chair to signal specialist Mora, right? That's currently in charge. Who's in charge of the Makos, but it isn't her.
I think that we had a Sergeant Hawkins.
There was a sergeant. Yes.
Yeah. She'll just say, Sergeant Hawkins, I need you to deploy or start readying a team now and get ready onto a shuttle. We might need a quick exfiltration off of a hostile ship or station if need be. 5 minutes.
All right. Yeah. So you guys, though, are now in combat as 5 Kzinti fighters are bearing down on you. The first turn goes to the Aegis and your crew. So what would you like to do?
Kill.
All right.
Is there any way that they won't detect if we fire?
Oh, they are bearing down with weapons charged and...
the fighters have already detected us, so we can assume they've informed the lead cruiser.
We don't know that yet. We're just... It seems like now the cruisers are distracted by the hunt, and so right now she just wants to take care of the chaff before the chaff notify the bigger ships. Hopefully.
Yep. The fighters appear to be going into the traditional scream and leap assault. So
scream and leap.
Scream and leap. That's the Kzinti way.
What are they screaming?
Meow.
Death.
Wah!
Yep. All right. So I heard on the question of what to do first, there was interest in kill. So, Shira, you may make an attack roll for phase cannons. This is a control plus security task, assisted by the ship's weapons plus security, or a torpedo attack would be control plus security, also assisted by the ship. The difference would be, first, phase cannons will consume power, where torpedoes do not. This is normally, for phase cannons, a difficulty 3 task, or rather a difficulty 2 task, but because you are attacking small craft, it is now a difficulty of 3. Similarly, torpedoes, well, they are I should note, these fighters are in close range, so that is optimal distance for phase cannons. Torpedoes are better at medium range, so they would get an increase of difficulty there. Likewise for the fact you are dealing with small craft.
Lovely. Small craft. Good. Okay. I need 3 successes. Okay, so let's get myself an extra dice by giving you an extra threat.
God damn it.
Jim will accept your point of threat.
Good. Enjoy
minute.
that.
Sure, we can do death with this.
Focus, of course, shipboard tactical systems. Fire. 2 successes. Gonna re-roll that 1 using bold security.
If somebody can roll weapons and...
Oh.
Oh, no.
Nasty. Oh well, just keep roll the weapons.
If somebody can roll weapons and security for the ship. I have reset the ship's power to 6, so when you roll for the ship, I will ask you also take 1 point of power.
I'll roll. All right. So take 1 point of power, right? All right.
Yes.
And security, weapons, 1 die, right?
Correct.
Yep. Hey,
Yes.
well done, ship.
Okay, so
Nice.
that is 4 successes in total, which will mean that you gain 1 point of momentum back. Now, before we resolve this, Shira, you have rolled a natural 20 as a complication.
Yes.
So the question would be, would you prefer to take the complication as narrative? Would you prefer to ignore the complication and give me 2 additional threat? Or would you prefer to buy it off with 2 of the momentum that you have?
And we're getting 1 point of momentum back from that.
Yes.
Roll?
So you technically will have 3 available.
Okay. I'm considering buying this off. So do you think we should?
Oh, also we got 2 more momentum because of dual backup plans when Mjolnir couldn't do the sensors initially.
Oh,
That's right.
does I'm only giving one of you backup plans for that, but I will.
Damn.
Dang it.
Damn. All right.
God damn it.
One is fair. One is fair. All right.
Okay. So I now feel more comfortable buying it off with
Yeah.
momentum then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys did momentarily have 4, with 1 point coming in from 1 point coming in from the success on the task, and the other from backup plans, since Melnyuk was not able to carry out the captain's order effectively. So you remain at 2 points. Shira, you may roll damage with phase cannons on one of the fighters.
Haha.
You get to shoot.
Ah, yes. Okay.
That is 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 2 effects are considered, that's versatile 1, so that gives you back 2 additional points of momentum.
Yeah.
Let's see, can you pick a fighter craft for me?
Let's go for this chap.
Okay. So, this upper left
Remember,
fighter.
we have momentum spends we can use with ground or space combat if we want to spread targets or whatever.
Yeah.
I imagine its resistance is relatively low, so let's spend 1 point of momentum for, is it piercing? To get to cut through
Yes.
some of the resistance?
Yes.
Well, I was going to say that it will only ignore 1 point of stress, so that
Oh,
is...
never mind then.
Yeah. These are not big shielded craft, so they are, let's see.
Yes.
I suppose if you, well, wait, no, you have 9 points of damage, so if you did want to...
it would inflict another breach either way, so
I'll
just let it.
I'll say that if you wish to do so, then you are welcome to.
No, we'll keep that. What's the what's the one where you spend to get a another breach
That would be
or affect
devastating.
another system?
Let me just
Yeah,
pull up.
devastating was 2, and it's another breach.
Yeah, here, let me pull up the momentum.
Do we
on
want to spend another 2 momentum on that? You think, guys? Or do we want to save the momentum?
I'd like other people about this too. What do you guys think?
I'd say save it. We've only got 2 left at the moment, so
All right.
Yeah, it's not a bad
might
shout.
need it for later.
Okay. All right. No extra momentum spend then.
Okay, so the phase cannons are going to do. Excuse me. Phase cannons are going to hit the first fighter. Shira, you lock on and concentrate the fire as best as you can. You significantly imperil its shields, and with a collapse, you see that they are on your sensors. They're still just barely up, but they are quite significantly damaged. So that will definitely be enough for a single breach on the first fighter. I think that is at the very least enough to knock it out. Checking one thing on the compendium here. Let's see, breach. Okay, yeah, the first fighter craft is disabled. It is going to start just spinning out of control, and I dare say beginning to take its... I dare say that craft is going to likely start hurtling into the gravity well of the planet.
Bye.
Yep. The second fighter that was closest to it is going to zoom in and take an approach as it tries to come in along the Aegis's starboard bow quarter, firing ionic cannons as it goes, just going in absolutely guns blazing. So that is 2 successes from the fighter. No additional help from the ship, but that is still enough for it to succeed as it rakes your vessel with a series of bursts from its weapons.
Ow.
Let me double check that roll just because I want to make sure that it has properly registered here, because the scale did come down on that relative to what it was. That's 4 plus 2 plus... Yeah, there should be 2 less on there, so let's see if it...
No, it likes rolling that number of dice.
Okay.
No, you have to roll less. No, I want to roll this number.
Tell you what, I'll shave off the last 2 die, and I'll use the first one as a constructive here. So let's see, 3 for the weapon, 1 for the discipline, and then should be another 1 for scale. So actually, the last 3 dice there. So that'll be 4 points plus 4 points of stress plus 2 effects, which it should be showing as piercing and dampening. So that is going to ignore 2 points of resistance on your ship. So that should still do 3 points of damage, and then I believe dampening coming into play, that should remove at least 1 point of power. Let me double check the damage effects. Okay. Yeah, so with the dampening effect, that would be... Sorry, I seem to have Just misplaced that. Okay. All right, so that removes 2 points of power for each effect rolled. So whoever has the ship sheet open, please remove 2 effects. The fighter is going to zoom in, blasting you with the with sort of light blue bursts of energy, impacting on the hull plating. Shira, you notice 3 points of damage to the plating or polarization down to 70%, essentially. And all of you do pick up it, like, while the ship doesn't shake too much, the lights flicker a bit more as it fires into the ship's as it lays into the craft with each strike. But the
polarization down to 70%.
Correct. But yeah, with that, the turn goes back to you guys.
Who wants to go now?
I'll have the captain go. As she, who has dealt with fighters before, knows, and especially with Kazinti, from their aggressive behaviors, knows that there is probably some, while they are unified, breaking the formation can really do a number to coordination. So she'll say, Remora, 20 degrees to starboard, ram them. As I'll try to create an advantage to cause chaos in the formation and discoordinate them by trying to basically break up their formation entirely. They did not expect somebody to actually ram somebody. Nobody expects people to ram their ship, unless you're other Kazinti, hitting other Kazinti. But yeah.
Are you using a particular fighter as a focal point, or would you want Remora to do that?
Yeah, Remora can do that, but I'm just trying to create the advantage of just causing disorientation with this fighter squad.
Gotcha. I will
say maybe some infighting, because they surely their pack leader should have expected this, right? Yep.
All right, Remora, I'm going to say this is a daring plus con roll assisted by the ship's engines and con.
Well, first, I have to make a roll, as creating the advantage requires a control, insight, reason plus command, and a difficulty of 2.
Well, I'd say, Captain, in this case, I guess you're giving the order for it, so that.
Okay. So I'm ordering somebody else to create the advantage.
Yeah, because sure. It's technically Remora's ram that's going into play.
Yeah. Okay.
That said, I think presence and command. Well, by virtue, as I understand it, of how the captain, has the direct action. Basically, you're kind of applying that here to assist an officer, and as the captain. I've usually interpreted that as the captain gets to have a complete role as well. So it's kind of like, your special power as the captain is
2 complete roles. Yeah, just to add an extra die to the assist. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
All right, makes sense.
So, with those clear and concise rules, Captain, you may assist with. We can make it, I think, presence and command. Reason could apply as well if you think that would do better for you.
I think they're all 10s, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Or 10 plus 5, so it's fine with me.
Apply whatever you think appropriate to the strategy, but Remora, you have a daring plus con roll. Okay. So 2 successes from Remora. Sharp, you may roll as well.
Yep. Strategy.
And the ship also rolls?
The ship also rolls with engines plus con.
Nothing there.
Well, that is still 4 successes, which is enough, I think, to hit one of the fighters.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Remora, I'll ask you this much. Would you make it an actual, would you try to run over one of the fighters in anger, or would you go for just trying to run through the middle of them and cause them to scatter? That'd kind of be your choice there, Cheesy.
Sorry, I was muted. This one right here, right in the center, that's the one I'm going for since it's the center of the whole pack.
Gotcha. All right. So, that inflicts 2 plus ramming ship scale in terms of stress with piercing 3, spread, and vicious 1 effects. So let's call this... I don't think I've assigned a ramming speed. Well, we should be able to work up ramming speed here. So ramming speed. This is technically... now, I'm going to slightly customize this and treat it as just an energy weapon. Oh wait, no, it'd be more torpedo is how we treat it for rolling. Apologies, I'm just very quickly adding the information here in the Roll20, so that'll allow our players to have it handy for the future. Alright, so there are the effects, there are the qualities. And so let's give that a quick roll. Well, that is still enough to, I guess, knock them around pretty badly. If you want to spend a point of momentum, you technically have 2 incomings, so you could always use one of those to re-roll zeros there if you like.
Yeah, I'll spend 1.
Okay, re-roll as many challenge dice as you would like there.
Let me adjust my momentum and then challenge dice. Let's roll 3 of them. Nope, 3 of them. But you know what? Just use the first 3.
Yeah. I'll take that. So let's see. That would be 4 points of stress. Then the effect would be piercing 3, so you ignore all their resistance. It adds vicious 1, so that means that is 5 points there. Spread would take, I think, half of the stress you have dealt, rounding down, so that's another 2 points on top of that. So that would be... I don't think that's... the second one probably isn't enough to deal another breach, but that's definitely enough, Remora, that as you run Aegis straight into the center, the fighters try to break off. The ones to the sides bank hard, either to port or starboard. The other one tries to go low, but winds up getting caught on the edge of the spherical hull, shearing away bits of hull and bits of its engines, and just sending it in a spiraling pattern down into the planet's atmosphere.
Bye.
Yep. And we now have also the advantage of disorientation with this group.
Yep. So I will allow that to basically add difficulty to an additional bit of difficulty to any attack that they make for the rest of the turn. Let's see here. Switch that to... Okay. That said, the fighter breaking to your port side is going to try and swing in and make an attack on your... they're actually going to go in for an express engine assault and try to shoot at your warp nacelles. So
no, not the engines again.
They're taking a difficulty... They're making a difficulty 4 attack. This one, I'm not going to spend any threat upon. I'm just going to see what they get with a flat roll.
Oh dear.
No, they're fighting each other instead.
They accidentally clip the fighter over here as they try to do that. So they would, except for they barely can hit. They can't really hit anything right now, and they're not doing so well on that. So there's definitely stirring up some anger in the pack. But yeah, that gives you guys turn goes to you now. I'll tell you what, as an added measure, since the complication didn't manifest quite so well, I'll give you guys some extra momentum here. So
Thank you, sir.
Nice.
you are down to 3, and I've given you back 2 more for a total of 5 points.
All right. I want to see if there's if anybody we can spare in the frickin' ship or in the station at all. So I'll give it to Mjolnir to scan the Kazinti vessels discreetly. To see if there's any survivors on there.
Tell you what, as a bonus here, since she conducted a task at the start of that, if you guys would like, I can use momentum to obtain information and then give you a roll.
Works for me.
Okay, if you could drop 1 panda.
Absolutely.
Also, just as a matter of I just need to actually roll one other thing because you guys did since you rammed the fighter, you also take some stress yourselves. So let's see. I'm just seeing what this does here. Okay, it's supposed to include a vicious one as well, so that's maybe it doesn't have piercing though, so you're able to shrug that off. Okay. All right, so let's see. For 1 point of momentum, sorry, that was not supposed to roll. For the 1 point of momentum that you have expended there, Mjolnir looks in and says, "It looks as though the cruisers are actually connected to the station right now. They might be in the process of transferring them, although, wait, no. One of them on the far side is disconnected right now. I don't think they've seen us yet, but if they can hear us here, then if they can pick up on the battle, then we're going to be in trouble."
Understood. Any Suliban upon the vessels?
There's some in the station, some on the Kazinti vessels. There's scarcely picking up more than 100 biosigns between them.
How many Kazinti?
Good bit more than that. I'd say between the cruisers, there's at least 70, 80, something like that to a crew. It's hard to pick up through the radiation, sir.
Can you give me, I'll spend 1 more momentum. Can you give me a layout of this, as much of the stations and the cruisers?
That's going to be a lot more difficult at this range. They're quite far off as is, and the EM radiation is, it's a bit more than I can filter, Captain.
All right.
So, turn-wise...
So, as a player, thoughts. What should we do? Should we try to quickly nab as many Suliban as we can from the station? Should we try to do a bit of naval combat and exfiltrate from the Kazinti ships of their booty? What should we do?
We won't last long against cruisers.
Not all of them at once. No.
No.
I mean, the Suliban are very spread out. So it's kind of difficult to mount any kind of rescue operation.
The ones on the station you might be able to, especially since the station's shields are non-operative. You might be able to beam a few of them out, but then we need time to do that.
Would it be possible, since they haven't noticed us yet, to disable the cruisers while they're docked? Or like in the process of?
You probably could hit one of them, or at least one of them, before they are able to react. Bearing in mind, while they are unshielded, they are also linked to the station, so excessive damage could risk harming any Suliban that are still on board.
Can we beam saboteurs on board?
Well, I was just saying, I was thinking like we have Mako teams. We have like probably 2 Mako teams total.
Can we move? Can we beam explosives directly to like the reactor room or something, or it's like something to like just disable them?
My other concern with that too is too much explosives, given how fact that it's Kzinti ships might cause chain effects.
Yeah, I mean, you beam in an explosive to the reactor, that's a guaranteed destruction of
Or to the bridge or something. Something that just disables. I don't know how feasible it is. It's just like the...
okay. I have an idea. Bold. Is we can deploy we can have a Mako team, given the fact that they're shut down, right? They're currently not shielded, right? Because they're docked. Yes.
2 of them at least are unshielded presently.
Yeah. We can deploy a Mako team into one of the bridges, and from the bridge they can start working in saboteur and assisting ops of exfiltrating the Suliban and getting the fuck out of there.
Is there a way to make them surrender? Like what? How do they take? It's like if you take out their leaders, can we just like
That's a good question. What do I know about that, GM? My family is very well studied, and so in these people we have history with them. One might say.
Which family?
Yes.
Yes.
The captain has 2 of everything. Yes.
How did great grandma
Kzinti are, I mean, you take out the pride leader and you can probably disorient the whole set. In a situation like this where it's a pretty clear raid and pillage sort of affair, you'd better hope that you are ready for a fight both in space and on the ground, because that's about the only way that you dislodge them from
once they frenzy, it's everyone for themselves.
And there's nothing to invoke here like parlay or something that we could make use of.
I mean, I'm a woman, so no.
And your food is also a highlighting thing. But yeah, the Kzinti patriarchy is well known.
Chickens don't get to invoke parlay just before they get fried.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I am delicious.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, lanthanite biology, I have to imagine, is a bit like lobster.
They just keep growing. We just shed our skins every couple hundred years.
Yep. Yeah. She will is quickly rolling through her family history, but does know still that the biggest and baddest is usually it's a pretty simple simplistic sort of leadership. So she kind of eyes the ships, and I'm going to look to Crichton, and I'm going to spend a momentum here for information, and I'll say, Crichton, I need you to quickly go through their communications that they're sending to each other is there, and I'm sorry that you have to listen to it, but is there any sort of hierarchy between the three ships, even just a little bit, while they're friendsing?
I'm trying to pick it up, sir. So there is a fair bit of chatter, but I can't discern any order between them. I'd say that we've might have thrown them through a bit of a loop, sir.
Can I determine that with the roll? Like just by
So
communication?
as a turn, yeah. Let's spend a turn then, and as your intelligence roll, I guess maybe.
I mean, I would go it from the like if one of the ships is like the leader, more messages go to them and from them than between the other two. So just
That's
by
fine.
like where the communication lines are, you should be able to determine if someone is the leader or if they're just like three equally placed parts.
It's probably also scarred and very nasty looking compared to the other ones. Let's be honest.
Yep. So let's
Like
see.
either as my whole role or to support Crichton in just like supporting his sorting out the details, depending.
We could make this something where you take lead and Crichton assists you. I'd say if somebody can also roll the ship with engineering plus communications, Crichton will roll insight and communication, or yeah, insight and engineering to make that work. Marcus, for the lead role, I will give you either insight. Well, I'll give you insight, but I will also ask you for either security or command, depending on.
Would be the same role either way. I don't think I have a focus that applies.
Okay. Let's see. Well,
You're
Security
happy-
systems?
You're an intelligence officer.
Say-
You don't have intelligence stuff. Gasp.
I do that with my head.
Oh, handsy, are you?
Also, deception. It's basically intelligence stuff.
afraid not.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch. Is that worth spending a die on?
Yeah.
You can if you wish, and I will say this is a difficulty 2 task. Crichton was not able to assist you here.
Damn it.
You can use a
spending-
You can use a determination. Why not?
Is that worth it?
You're not going to combat.
Or you could save it for a reroll afterwards.
Yeah.
Saving it for reroll potential. So no focus, spending a die for a third momentum. Yeah, spending momentum for a third die.
Uh-huh. There we
Three.
go.
3 successes. Okay, so that will be enough to beat. If anybody wants to roll the ship for communications plus engineering, then I will count for this with momentum.
Communications, engineering.
Yep.
Fire.
So, Marcus.
Hey.
Okay,
Hey,
that is a
momentum.
that is a 4th success. So another 2 points of momentum go back to you.
Nice.
Let me get the count there. It was properly down to 3 points with the information that you've spent to obtain, and with the extra die Marcus bought. It is now back up to 5 after that. Based on what you're seeing, Marcus, while Crichton is having quite a bit of time both keeping his cool and keep trying to sort through frequencies, you are a little more steady on this. You're a little more cool-headed, and you can pick up that there's very much not a cool-headed behavior amongst the pack here. These fighters are very likely, if they had a squadron leader, they are probably zooming down into the atmosphere. As a matter of fact, I retroactively note that one of the fighters, it looks like, I think I misdid the because of the devastating weapon effect, I think that actually scored a second breach, so one of those fighters has just blown up. The one that
Nice.
Remora rammed expressly.
Hey.
I think there was a bit miscommunication. I thought we were looking
No,
at the cruisers.
We're looking at the cruisers.
Oh.
For
If there's like
communicating
anyone
cruisers.
in command there.
Okay. I would say that you're like such that any chatter is going off. You could see that That might have affected difficulty slightly had I noted.
I mean, we have 4 successes.
We have 4.
in
Yeah.
total.
So, and I haven't
We
modified
we
it yet.
can subtract
modified it.
momentum if necessary.
Okay.
I haven't modified the momentum yet, so it's 4 successes.
All right. Honestly, I think I would raise the difficulty trying to suss anything out with the cruisers just because of the radiation and the relatively
It's fair.
farther range. So I'll give you the success, but no increase in momentum. You stay at 3 for that. That being said, some communication does make its way towards the cruisers, and there is they don't seem, you think, to the reaction there isn't particularly quick. It seems as though there's some communication trying to sort out who might be acting. It seems as though after what you would expect, longer than what you would expect to have it figured out, Horn, the cruiser that is presently detached is going to swing around the station to investigate.
But there doesn't seem to be someone in charge really there.
If
Overall.
If somebody is leading a squadron here, then maybe they're not on the bridge at present, or they're trying to work things out. Communication for the fighters is extremely difficult to realize with the ambient radiation. Or Creighton's actually throwing this in. Yeah, with all the EM readouts, I doubt that these the fighter craft are going to be able to reach out to their cruisers as easily. They might be getting some very confusing readings out this direction.
Well, if they have a leader, it's pretty sloppy, but one of the cruisers seems to be investigating. You're gonna get a visitor soon.
And
All right. She's thinking through.
with that task,
Go ahead.
I believe at least one more fighter should have the opportunity to act, since only one of them still has
Still difficulty 4 because of the advantage.
Well, difficulty 3 from disorientation for the
Okay.
one attack.
Oh, right. Difficulty 4 for trying to target the entrance. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. That being said, one of them is going. This one is going to follow from its. It's going to follow the example, but I think I'm going to expend 3 points of threat on this one to buy some extra dice.
Boo.
Boo.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Hacker.
Okay, so they are rolling 4 d20s.
Ugh.
We need like a Quatlo redeem, like Uno reverse card or something.
Yeah.
You've all my-
3.
Well,
3 successes.
I do not get any of my threat back, and that's not going to be enough to actually do damage to the subsystem, unfortunately.
Yay!
What do you mean, unfortunately? Listen, you're breaking apart.
I will give it to you that Sharp, you'd see their attack pattern, and the strafing run doesn't go as well as they probably wanted, but some hits do connect with the starboard nacelle. You realize that these fighters maybe realize that they're not going to be able to take you down, but they are probably aiming to slow you down so that you can't escape the gravity well yourself before the cruisers get here. So that said, turn goes back to you guys. I see we've had Remora, Sharp, Shira, and Horn have all acted once. That would leave.
I thought that with the captain it becomes just the captain and Remora can just go again, or something like that.
No, that's fair. I can allow that we can run it that way. So Remora still could still act easily on his own or without increased difficulty. It's Remora, Xantar, and Romanov might not be down in engineering, but a given situation.
Someone in engineering.
Yeah.
We do need power restored.
Remora, sorry. Romanoff was probably in a deep sleep, until this happened. And then she was waking up as the ship goes to red alert. So
You,
Naturally.
Ain't that a familiar feeling, Romanov?
yeah. So,
Just again.
I mean, if you guys want a moment to talk about it, then I can give you that. But
Okay,
So
so
we could do a defensive maneuvers for Remora, or we could try to regain some power from engineering.
Bernard is probably in the engineering, so could try with that.
If you want me to do an evasive action, that'll give us enough defense to get the power, so we don't have to worry about the next combat as much.
we can do that. We have enough momentum to keep the initiative.
All right, let's do defensive maneuvers
And get
then.
closer. Can you move and get and do defensive maneuvers?
oh, let's see. I think that evasive maneuvers wouldn't have you moving in a particular concrete direction. This would be the Crazy Ivan situation. Or it's not really a Crazy Ivan because that's just a sudden turn, whereas this is more of a
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Or if we want to make things easier for me to shoot next time, we could do an attack pattern.
I have an idea, and especially something that I was thinking about earlier this episode, that reference earlier this episode. If I went down on the station and boldly declared that they were on my turf, they would be distracted by me with a squad of Makos. We hold them off long enough for you to grab as many friggin' Suliban as possible. We and then we can either eject ourselves from the station, or the team and myself, or you can transport us once you've collected as many as you think you can handle. And that way the Skazinti are distracted. They won't pursue the ship. They'll pursue more of me because they want more glory from the Grand Huntress. They want to feast on the Grand Huntress, than to attack some prey ship. How about that idea, you guys? It's a
I think
risk.
Shira has to be against it out of sheer principle and protocol.
Sure, would object. But, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an
As a player.
interesting idea. You could take a Remora with you to help with the would help talk with the Suliban there.
Yep. Maybe a few Suliban we can find along the way can defend with us while the rest are evacuated.
So let's quickly deal with the remaining fighters, because we have to get them off our back first.
Yeah, but let's
yeah.
have Remora move closer, and we get more engineering, and then the next turn as Shira, you can finish off the screen squadron, and then
very quickly, we know our weapons ranges. What's the ranges for transporters or stuff for them to work?
For transporters to be exercised, you have to technically the destination should be within close range of the ship.
So we got to move.
So we would have to move.
Yeah,
we have moved.
You could move, and if you moved, it would mean that you would go out of optimal cannon range. Both for everybody's working with cannons here, so your phase cannons would be more difficult to hit them. Their ionic cannons,
but they're dampening. They're dampening cannons will also be at further range.
Yeah,
so
thrusters.
That's good for us.
Thrusters can move you into a medium zone, which is also coincidentally better for torpedoes. It does not cost power to do so. Impulse can move you to long range, which would cost power.
Let's spend the power, I think, to boost us really close. That way, next turn we can get in range of a transport.
And we can only beam 2 people at a time, right?
Myself and another Mako
That's-
onto the ship, and then
that's-
myself and Remora, and then freaking dude, I am built for assault. So, and we can transport more Makos along the way too. But right now we just need them to be focused on something else that isn't the ship or other Suliban.
I kind of like the idea of this playing out with the captain giving an order for Remora to get kick up the impulse engines and go to speed, and for Shira to learn this plan kind of as they to say.
She'll look at Shira. She'll look at Shira.
Start with Remora, I think.
Okay,
yeah. What was Remora gonna say?
Well, no, I was saying you should give the order to move the ship. And,
Remora. Remora, get us closer to the station. She says after a quick moment of quiet.
Impulse. You got it. He moves to impulse, and as he's moving, he's going to look to Justice. Be ready to switch, my friend.
Captain, we won't last long against 3 cruisers.
I don't expect you to, and if anything, they'll be more interested in trying to get the Grand Huntress than they would be trying to get off a prey ship off in the distance.
You're going down there?
Only for a little bit. A nice distraction and further coordinating evacuation. Our priority are the Suliban here, and the lives of this ship, not just me. Besides, I have a few ideas on how to get out of there if need be. She says it's working on them.
Before the conversation continues, Remora, this is Control plus Con. Engines and Con may assist. For whoever does the ship, please remove 1 point of power. I will also note the difficulty on this task is increased to 2 since you are having to operate all of this in a gravity well. Remora succeeds as far as that goes. So somebody get the ship, please. Or I can do that.
And engine's Con, right? Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Hey.
All right.
2 successes from the ship.
So that means a total of 4. That will put Aegis in long range. So you have effectively moved away from.
How much?
Well, you gain back 2 points of momentum from that.
Yeah. Back up to 5. Okay, good.
Right, yeah. So Shira, the captain has basically told you she wants to take your ship into into transporter range, which is also weapons range, of 3 Kzinti cruisers, and a station that has been heavily boarded and irradiated. Wants to take herself and the helm officer down in the transporter in the hopes that the Kzinti will be too busy trying to comb through the station for her, and aside from obvious danger to herself, will not that the ships can't multitask and also attack the Aegis, and whose capabilities are not equal to the situation.
Captain, this is very, very risky.
I'm willing to hear the solutions. As I said, our priority is as many of the Suliban as we can find, and their safety.
Isn't our first priority the ship?
The safety of the ship, yes. But I am... If that was an Earth station, the whole matter would be a lot... an Endorian or Earth station, the feelings would be a lot different. This is what Starfleet is all about. Doing our best to make this place a better place. And while I am trying my best to keep all of us safe, we should try to keep them safe as well.
Okay.
If you want to hear a better idea, I'm more than glad to hear it.
I'll order an immediate warp jump to the edge of the system as soon as we've transported you in.
Micro jump it. And then come back in at a different angle.
And hopefully they get completely distracted by you. You take a good comms, some form of comms booster. There's a lot of radiation interfering with communications. If their fighters were unable to properly communicate with their cruisers, then I'm not sure a little comms device is going to be able to communicate with us at the edge of the system.
She looks over to Remora. You don't have to come along, Remora. I can find a Mako officer who would take your place.
Suicidal.
But this is not something that I'm going to order you to do.
Captain, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Way better at fighting than I am flying a ship.
Fair enough. She gives a small smile. I'm much more better at fighting than I am commanding, she says, to be honest. She says very quietly to Remora with a wink. All right. Any other complaints or better ideas? Speak now.
Depressingly short on options.
Meljuk jumps in. Captain, if you're venturing us to volunteer opinions here, then, and I hate having to say this, running does seem viable here.
I know. And
we,
if you want to, certainly your standing commanding officer looks over to Shira, has that right to do so after I leave the ship. But these people need us, Melnick.
Yeah. Melnick just kind of pauses a moment before you hear an interjection from the other side of the bridge. Captain, if you're venturing all our opinions, this is suicide. We've faced long odds before, but we'll never. You think? I don't know if we could actually get you back out of there.
If you can't, I'll work myself and Remora will work our way back out. She looks over to Shira. Protect the crew, protect the ship. Try to get as many as you can, if you can.
Yes, sir.
The last party should be getting myself or Remora out. Do you understand?
Understood.
She gets up. Well, to your stations, she says, looking at the crew one last time. Hopefully not for the last time.
Captain.
Yes, Remora.
Do you think there's a chance there's other Klingon ships around here?
You know, there just might. Crichton. I think some filthy felines have been infringing upon the great Klingon Empire. Don't you think?
I don't know if we could get through to the Klingons from here, sir. Besides that, he's just kind of completely incredulous at this point as to the whole sequence of events.
It's an idea to think over. She looks over to Shira.
Oh, we'll think on it as we're evading free cruisers. Yes.
Come on, Romara. Let's go.
Yep. So Sharp and Remora leave the bridge. Shira, you are in command at present. Through all this change, there is still one more action that could be taken. I think that
Get me engineering and get them to get us some more power.
Okay, Bernhard, this would be your time to shine. As down in the engine room, you've noticed. Let's see, put it down here. Romanov is not there because
That
she
don't
is
look
not
right.
sleeping here. Yep. Down in the engine room, there have been very slight sounds of buckling as weapon strikes repeatedly hit. Fernir is busy hastily checking in the engine. Damn it! More dampening fields are running through the EPS relays. If we're not careful, we're gonna lose the main. We're gonna lose the main engine. Somebody make sure we've got what power to full. Bernard, at this point, as he's about to bark orders, a chime comes from the comm panel, which Fernir will run over. Engineering here. This is Chief Fernir.
Engineering, we're gonna need more power as soon as possible.
We'll get to rerouting right away. Bernard, set priority, divert power wherever you can, and let's see if we can get main power back up.
Aye, aye, sir.
All right. Bernard, this is control. I'm going to say control plus engineering on this task.
Perfect.
Any power systems related focus would definitely apply. Difficulty is 2. It can succeed at cost.
I do have Starship power systems as a focus.
All right.
Hey, Panda, I think our momentum should have gone up to 5.
Yes, that's correct.
No, the difficulty changed for the.
Oh yeah.
Did
That's
it?
right. For the
okay.
Oh wait, no. For the engines roll, it was
for the engines
two,
roll.
so, there. You guys should actually be at 5 points of momentum, which I'm reflecting in the overlay as well.
Well, if no one minds, could I spend a die for an extra dice?
Absolutely. Please do.
Thank you.
How many would you like to expend?
Just the one will do for now.
Okay, so that should be 4 points of momentum on the board then.
Excellent.
I'll just give it to you.
Oh! Ho, ho!
Bravo.
Wow.
5
He
successes.
doesn't. He's got a blank expression on his face. He takes one random panel off. He just pulls one random like power coil out and just plugs it into another, and then another one into another. Hey, look, sir! I think I've done it.
Wait a minute, what? And as like the power surges through the creative rewiring, and Bernard gets propelled across the room, and flattened into a pancake on the other wall before he strips himself off and blows into a thumb to reinflate himself. That earns you 3 points of momentum.
Nice. Fill up the pot.
Yep. Before we...
And a floating?
Well, there's 1 point that would be floating. Actually, no. Yeah. 1 point would be floating right now. Before I assign momentum, I will let you guys
So how much power do we get back? Is
Succeeding at the task would restore a single point of power, whereas you gain every additional point for momentum spent. So you could use everything that he just earned. You could pull from the pot.
Yeah, I can certainly put that floating into it for 1.
Yeah. So we're currently on, I think, 2 power out of 6. So we could just use it all to restore.
Yeah, that'd be better. That would take us. Well, if we take the 2 I got back and the floating one, that would put us to 3. If we add another one from the 4 that we currently have, take us up to full power.
Yes,
which would still leave us with 3 momentum. We can still. I'd call that a safe bet.
Yep.
Yeah, it works.
Awesome.
Okay. With that, the turn order, or with that last action, I think that is. I think that would technically, technically, there's something for if Brian had anything to do, then you, like every player character, gets an action basically. So you conceivably have one more task you could take if you want it. Otherwise, we would go to the next round.
But I'm down in I'm down in medical, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Is there
Yeah.
anything?
I mean, you
Was
could.
there any reaction from Fernier after seeing what what just happened to Bernard?
He is going to pull you up. It's like, you crazy son of a bitch.
Thank you, sir.
He just shakes his head and like pats you on the back. Let's get back to it.
Here, sir.
Okay, if you want me to take an action, what options could I do? Because I am in medical, I have limited things, but if I can help out through accessing, using a panel to access engineering from medical, I'll do it.
Well, I don't think that it would quite go so far as that, but I guess it depends on what Romanov's attitude is. If she wants to play as accommodating as possible, you could volunteer in sick bay and just be ready to help people there. If she's willing to say, Doc, I get you. I understand where you're coming from. I'm not leaving. I'm not going to let my ship get blown up around me, and just say that she
I
rushes
think
down
that she
the
would
engine room.
take the second option, and so she'll head down to engineering. She probably would have done that, a little bit earlier. We didn't discuss anything. I was just trying to stay out of the way, so other players could do their thing.
Yeah.
But if you'd allow that, then I'd be down I'd get to engineering as soon as possible.
Yep. Romanov is grabbing the cane and rushing away from the bioped as fast as she can. Her jumpsuit, like in full fashion, maybe like zipping up the jacket. She's getting past you right now, Xantar.
Mm-hmm.
Xantar, I'll be back for our usual treatment. I'll try not to get injured again.
Thank you.
If not, this has become my secondary quarters.
I'm sure that'd be unnecessary.
And with a mischievous grin, Romanov runs down to the engine room.
Xantar's action gonna be disinfect that bed that Romanov was sitting on.
Oh, it's already being like he's already got like a large like sonic machine just like.
Yep. So
that's why she likes it in engineering. It's so. She likes it in medical. It's so clean.
So
sterile.
With that, the turn order resets as you have moved into closer range. I'm going to say that you are now seen by the cruiser that it's made its way around the station. They are now involved. The fighters that you have moved away from will also be able to continue their own pursuit. All of that being said, as the turn order resets, Shira, you are in charge here on the bridge. So you kind of have initiative in terms of what happens next here. You are charging into what is a situation that is all but guaranteed to get 2 of your shipmates killed once they go on board the station.
Lovely.
That will also seriously damage the Aegis in all likelihood, given the exchange.
Yeah.
So here's how we do it.
Shira, what would you like to do?
Yeah, fair enough.
Panic. I think so. We would need to first move into transporter range. Yes. So, can we complete that this turn with 1 move from the hell?
You can use impulse power to get you into close range.
Okay. So that'd happen. We could spend a couple points of initiative. we spend like momentum then to keep the turn, transport our dynamic duo to the station. So that happens, and then at that point we would then be attacked in the next turn by probably one of the cruisers.
We can maintain momentum.
Yeah, but we can only do it once in a. We can only do it like back to back. So, okay. So the goal is to get our team on the station this
And then
turn,
warp out.
and then warp out as soon as humanly possible. Okay. So let's not worry about shooting. Let's worry about moving. So, yes, Chief Justice, let's get to that station as quickly as possible.
Pushing the sunglasses up his rim. You got it, Captain. I can roll, or somebody can roll for me, since I'm technically a supporting character. This would even count as an activation.
Nice.
Nice. And then be prepared to make a warp jump to the edge of the system.
This is going to be Daring and Con. Difficulty is 2, given the present issues with the gas giant here.
Yay. All right, who's rolling? Mr. Justice.
I can take it.
Whoever likes, I'll keep my hands away from it.
No, I can't see it's Justice's character sheet.
I'll give him a roll here for you guys.
Okay.
So Daring plus Con, he does not have a focus that actually applies to this. So
He is a focus.
He is the
He's
focus.
the focus.
Yes.
But he does have activation, right? So
he does. But on that roll, that would not count with the focus wouldn't help him. Okay,
Alright.
so
Ship
Justice
comes in with a success.
Yep. So Justice, using the impulse engines, will be able to close the Aegis into. We'll be able to bring it into close range of the station.
Okay. Do we now want to spend 2 momentum to keep the initiative and transport our crew over to the station?
yeah, probably.
Yeah,
It might be worth it.
because I think that might. Well, they're going to start shooting,
They're gonna start shooting anyways.
and that at least eliminates one turn where they can shoot.
Yeah.
I think. Okay, so let's spend momentum to keep the initiative, which is what 2.
That'd be 2 points.
All right. So bridge to transporter room. We are in range. Please commence transport.
And I am going.
And what they're doing that, she'll say, Justice, we need to be getting the hell out of here as soon as the captain and Remora are off.
Captain Cruiser's. The nearest cruiser's suddenly banking.
I see them.
And I'm spending 2 threat as an effective countermand to your keeping the initiative,
Oh,
so that they can come in for an attack of their own.
Oh,
You know what's coming this time at medium range.
I hate to think that if they strike the engine, that'll hit 3 breaches.
Don't give him any ideas.
Oh, I mean, that's it.
1 point of threat for an extra D20. And-
Can't wait to make new characters.
Oh,
that is 2 points of 2 successes and a complication. Let's see how the ship does with weapons plus security.
Oh,
4 successes.
that's gonna goodbye
So let's see.
shields.
Vessels, torpedo launchers.
That'll probably be a couple
Ship
of
has
breaches.
3. Fire a torpedo salvo. Reroll a single. I am dropping all but one of my remaining points of threat to make this a salvo, because that allows for the rapid-fire torpedo launchers to take effect. That
Oh boy.
means I can re-roll a d20 in the pool.
Nice. Okay.
And
Could you re-roll that too? I think the two successes. That's
Yeah,
what you can
yeah,
re-roll,
yeah.
right?
well,
Definitely re-roll.
that is 4 successes
Oh.
there. So that is
Okay.
the torpedoes are going off there. The salvo is going to add.
Poop. A lot.
So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 points. That is plus vicious, so that is 13 points of stress right there.
13. Nice. Okay. Our
Yeah.
resistance is free. So
So-
it takes it down to 10. Goodbye, polarization.
And that's 2 breaches.
New
That's-
characters.
I think that's
New
technically a
characters.
third breach because we've lost all our polarization on
No, that's
ship.
it's 1 to exceed 5 points, and then it's a second to
Ah.
do that. I would need to expend.
Okay.
I would need to spend to add devastating attack.
Okay, right, fair enough then.
Yeah. That being said, off the roll,
Sensors and structures.
Okay. For
Okay,
structure,
good,
that
cool,
means
cool.
that we have to roll. I'm gonna roll a d6 on there. Very quickly.
This is dumb. This is dumb.
Oh no.
Dumb.
As the cruiser banks in hard, it lets off a salvo of nukes heading in your direction. The relief tactical officer has mere moments to call out radiological alarms. Brace for impact as the torpedoes collide with the forward section, hammering it with nuclear blow after blow. The sheer amount of buckling that you guys all feel as this as the ship takes shot after shot. Sharp from down in the as you're running down the alcove to the transporter room, you feel the ship buckle horrendously as you and Remora are sent shooting forward and like just down to your feet, down to the floor with each successive blast. On the bridge, Shira, as you try to keep yourself steady and signal for some sort of evasive maneuver, you feel the abrupt lifting from beneath you as a panel blows out from beneath the captain's chair.
Ouch.
And sends a white-hot pain all along your side and tumbling forward. You have just been you have been effectively
Good.
dealt a lethal injury, which let me check to see here.
Ouch. 1.
So let's see. I'm just going to roll this as call it.
Excellent. Good. I'm happy with that. Damn.
I think vicious would come into play here. So Shira, it's not enough to like actually be enough to. It's not going to. It's not enough stress to actually do that. But you are very badly gutted and like are just barely able to stand up and continue this as. Yep. But yeah, all around, where it like phrases are being called. Creighton is well. After a moment's recovery and with pain clutching at your side and your leg as like blood is just rushing forth, Creighton calls out, "Direct hits. Targeting. We've lost targeting sensors. Hull breaches on decks 12, 9, and 3. Hull polarization reports out. Primary hull reports elevated radiation levels. The tactical says, I've lost, confirmed I've lost polarization of the hull. We can't take another hit like that.
Can we still make the jump?
Engines were unaffected.
I've still got engine power, sir. They missed the nacelles.
Then jump!
Okay.
Well, we haven't been transported yet.
That was technically the
Well,
next
technically we are about to die, so, you know.
Yep.
He's got
Horn, I think that this is a case where if you wish, you can exert the presence and command and get the ship out of here, if you would like. I will give you the option to make a direct task.
Yeah.
I think that's a. Do you want to risk another turn?
No.
No, and frankly, neither do I.
Like, I know that I've overrode Shira in that moment.
You can say she's.
Uh,
You can see she's.
I would also
injured
like
at this point.
Rush to your side. When I pick myself up, because, you know, I keep standing on a fucking bridge.
Yep.
A presence command, you say?
Presence and command.
Three. What's the difficulty?
The difficulty on the task would have actually been 3. Justice gets to Justice looks for a moment at you, like at Horn, and is like he's uncertain. Chain of command and all
I used
that.
intimidation as my focus, so it's just like.
Shira will nod assent to that order.
With that, Justice is going to
For
pull
the love
up
of God,
and set the warp throttle to go.
And use his determination, obviously, and spend momentum.
Staying cool under pressure is easy, so he will give you. He will use the auto crit, and just to top that off, engines plus con may be rolled. How fast do you want to get out of there?
Zip very quickly.
I mean, I think to be the last command had been edge of the system. And
Edge of the system.
Expect
So
these coordinates to be kind of still set.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll probably jump in that far. So it probably like a warp 2, warp 3, I guess.
Yeah. Justice will make the warp jump there and set things off. And while that won't do it, the Marcus directing with Justice and the auto crit, that 6 successes are on the board effectively. So that is going to be enough to clear what would be a, under the circumstances, I think, a difficulty. I think this would go up to a difficulty 3 task, given you're trying to escape under fire, you're evading the station, and getting out from a gravity well. So, Sharp, by the time you make it to the transporter pan,
I can feel it. I can probably feel it. Yeah.
As gas,
she'll just slow to a stop.
Yep.
Go ahead. Sorry.
As bits of paneling are burned out, fires and gas are kind of spending everywhere. You feel the rumble in the deck plates that you, Remora, recognize as well as Aegis jumps to warp. And I think that Go ahead.
Can I do something really quick, or just a small scene, very small scene? I know we're nearing ending time here. She'll just slow down to from a run to a trot, and then to a full stop, holding up her hand as we feel the warp engine. She doesn't look to Remora. How does Remora respond?
Oh, he goes to his knees.
She just looks over to you, quiet, takes a few steps, and just slams, like full on punches the helmet into the deck wall, and just walks back, leaving more there. That's it.
With that last moment, as the Aegis makes its escape, that is where we leave off today's adventure. So, for those of you that joined us today for On the Horns Part 1 in the archive, we hope you enjoyed, and we will come back next week with more Star Trek adventures.